Please welcome Andra Annette joining us from the Bronx, New York. Andra, we're honored to have you.
Hi, everyone. So I am Andra Annette, and I am so honored to be here today. And I'm so grateful to all the people who went before me. I would be lying if I said that this doesn't make me nervous or uncomfortable. This is the first time I am sharing this story live. So if I falter, I have created some notes for myself so I can stay on track. Okay, so let's get started. The first time I died, it was not in a hospital bed. It was on my mother's doorstep after being raped and left for dead. The second time was when I was told by doctors I would never walk again after a drunk driver crushed my body. The third time, that was different. I was still alive, but I was walking around carrying over 300 pounds of unprocessed trauma, inflammation, and pain. And that death was almost permanent. I've survived cancer twice. I endured an abusive marriage, and I buried most of my family. And for many years, I walked around in a body that did not feel like my own. Not because I let myself go, but because decades of trauma went ignored, misdiagnosed, and misunderstood. I didn't fit into the textbooks, so I didn't get the help that I needed. And here's what I want to say to you from one survivor to another. Trauma is an assault on the body. It changes your chemistry. It changes your energy. It damages your digestion. And it shapes how we move through the world until our body can no longer carry it. And for many of us, especially women with complex trauma, we carry that pain quietly, invisibly, until we break. I spent years of my life learning how to fight, but what really changed my life was learning how to forgive. Forgiveness was not about excusing what had happened to me, but it about reclaiming what I had left and building from there. I had to start asking myself, what am I carrying that doesn't belong to me? Because trauma convinces you that it's your fault, that you're weak. You should have done something different. You should have seen it coming. You should have fought harder. And the longer you believe that, the longer you stay stuck in survival mode. And survival mode is a prison for your body. So here are 4 things that I do with clients, friends, or anyone looking to heal from the inside out. And these 4 things changed my life. Number 1, reflective journaling. I used to call it trauma tracking. Every day I wrote down the best and the worst part of my day. I celebrated the good and I looked at the bad without shame. And I asked what my part was in it and what could I do to change. It's not about blame. It's about accepting responsibility, the kind that helps you heal. Number 2 is self-talk. Every day, I allowed myself to not allow the voice in my head to treat me like I was worthless. If I wouldn't say it to a best friend, then it didn't belong in my head. Over time, your worthless became you're still here and you're stronger today than yesterday. Number 3 is stop asking permission. Be the first pick in your own life. I stopped waiting for others to approve, rescue, or validate me, and I moved forward anyway. And number 4 is there is no one size fits all. In my 40 years of practice, I have never seen 2 people with the same diagnosis require the same healing plan. Real healing only happens when the plan is tailored to your body, your needs, and your story. So here's what I want you to hear today. Stop carrying what's not yours. Put it down. Forgive yourself. You can't move forward carrying a backpack full of bricks that somebody else handed to you. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know. Forgive yourself for how you coped. Forgive yourself for surviving. And then take one small step, just one, towards reclaiming your story. Maybe tonight that's journaling. Maybe tomorrow that's monitoring your self-talk. Maybe it's saying no to someone who's draining you. Or maybe it's saying yes to yourself for the first time in years. You don't have to do this perfectly, and you don't have to do it alone. You just have to start. And here's what happens when you do. Your energy returns, your digestion improves, your body stops fighting you, and it starts working with you again. This is not theory, this is biology, and I'm living proof. So I'm Andra Annette, and you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become next. So I help people reclaim their lives by allowing and making them feel seen, heard, and understood, and tailoring a plan to their unique body, their needs, and their stories. And if I can do it after everything, you can too. It's not an easy path. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that it was an easy path. It's a process. It's a daily process. Like coming on today and sharing that with others was not something I wanted to do. I wanted to bolt. I wanted to run. I didn't want to share that with you. But if my story can help just one person, then it's worth feeling uncomfortable. Today, my life is very different. I am happy, healthy, healed, and whole, as I always say. That's not necessarily true. It's a daily practice. It's about reclaiming yourself and saying it's okay to have walked through that. That doesn't change who I've become today. I'm proud of who I am today. But I keep going, and I do uncomfortable things sometimes when I need to. But 10 or 15 years ago, I was walking around with a leaky gut. My thyroid was out of control. I was fighting 5 autoimmune diseases that are no longer in my body today. And that is because I did that inner work. I started asking myself, what am I carrying that doesn't belong to me? And I put in those 4 steps that I had discussed with you on a day-to-day basis. And I still use those today. I write a lot of books. I have 30 plus books, and they're all different parts of my story and things that I could have used growing up in that background, things I wish somebody would have told me. And I try to put it in a fun, loving way so children can learn that it's okay no matter where they're at today. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I have a lot of time left, and I don't know that I'm going to fill that time. But I do want to let you know that it was very important for me to share this up front for the first time. People see me online as that happy-go-lucky person, and for a long time I wasn't that happy-go-lucky person. I suffered with addiction. I was depressed. I was emotionally broke, physically unfit, and spiritually broken. And it doesn't matter where you're starting. It just matters that you keep going, because you are the most important person in your life. Without you, nothing else exists. You know, I was that people pleaser. I was that yes person. And every time I said yes to someone else, I was saying no to myself. No to things that I needed to do. No to things that were important to me. And the only way forward is through it. I wrote these notes. I didn't use them. I probably missed something that was important. But what you need to walk away from today is that you are not what happened to you. You really are what you choose to become next. You can't allow your past to keep you stuck and not become the person that you're meant to become, because you are so worth all your dreams, all your visions, and all the happiness that you can have in this world. So I am Andra Annette, and I want to thank you again for coming in and listening to all the speakers. If you look at the speakers, we've all been through different things, and we've all used many of the same things to get through it, but it all required work and effort. There's a lot of people out there that will tell you, take this pill and you'll be healed, or do this one thing and all of that stuff was erased. But it doesn't work that way in actuality. It really doesn't. We are so individual that what works for me won't work for you. I don't do programs. I do people. I get to know what's important to that person. I did give a program, mindful eating, for you guys. I'm sure they'll put that up for you. But it's not just about mindful eating. It's about being mindful and intentional in every aspect of your life, because it's only through intentional actions that we are able to step up and change the things that we need to do. So I hope you've learned something from this story. I'm glad that I'm through it. And I want to thank you. So reflective journaling is really, really important. And the more that you spend that time writing down what's going on in your life, that day to day, it's a tool that you can use in your future as well. Because you can look at some of the things that happen in the course of your day. Sometimes we argue with people that we really care about, and we don't always see our part in it until after the fact, right? But reflective journaling does allow you to look at the different parts of your day and say, hey, what was my part in this conversation? What if could I have done differently to make that conversation be better, to make that interaction more effective, to make that person feel heard and understood? So the things that we say to others, we are more likely to be forgiving and kind, but we don't forgive ourselves, and we're not kind to ourselves. So monitoring our self-talk, the ladies were talking about your nervous system and your regulation. Your body hears what your mind is saying all the time. It's always listening. If you say, I can't do this, chances are you won't. If you say that something's impossible, you've already convinced yourself that it is. So your outcomes are going to be so much harder. So definitely monitor your self-talk. Definitely be kind in the words you use. It takes a lot of practice to do that. I was lucky enough to stumble upon a book many decades ago that really changed the way I talk to myself. And when I catch myself saying something negative, I say up until now, which I know sounds really silly, but Mary Morrissey used to say that in a lot of her programs that she did. And I found that really worked for me, and I love Mary Morrissey. So, but you're living a life, and it's only one life that you have. You don't have to ask for other people's approval to be who you are. There's no one that's going to agree with everything we do, or even agree with what we choose to do with our lives. But it is our lives, and those outcomes are what we are going to pay the consequences for, or have a happy celebration about. So when we take care of that inner self, we show up fully. If we're a hot mess on the inside, then we're not showing up for our family. We're not being that 100% employer, right? We're not being a really good friend or attentive to anyone if all those voices in our head are busy and scattered thinking about traumas for the past. And everybody is walking around with some kind of trauma or another. We all have generational stories, traumas that we face, things that we went through when we were children. And that should be upfront when we have conversations with people in our day-to-day life, so that we are a little kinder, we are a little more compassionate, we are a little more empathetic, because people deserve that. Just like you want that, so do they. So I'm going to stop talking, because I could rattle on and on and on for millions of minutes, as long as it's not about myself. That's the difficult part. It's hard for me to share that story, but I know that it does help other people heal. So I'm Andra Annette. Thanks again for coming in and watching all the people today. Please follow up with these ladies and the hosts and these amazing people. If you're someone who's looking to share your story and speak on different topics, I highly encourage you to reach out to Anshu, our administrator, the global leader admin, and really start getting out there and talking, because the more times you do it, the easier it becomes. And there's people out there waiting to hear your story. It might just change their life. So thank you.